Why do hiccups happen and what does it have to do with food? Hiccups are a sudden and involuntary reaction from the human body, and are not usually dangerous, infecting millions every day, but they remain very disturbing. We have all been subjected to a seizure at least once in our lives, and despite the inconvenience caused by its sudden nature, this is one of the phenomena that we are easily used to, said Veronica Muecho, a writer in the Spanish newspaper Confederate. The author explains that hiccups are involuntary concurrent contractions between the vitreous muscles and the diaphragm, located between the chest cavity and abdomen, and plays an important role in our respiratory system. The author adds that these convulsions cause air to suddenly enter the body, and then close the larynx, the opening between the vocal cords, which is responsible for the flow of air to the lungs, which is why hiccups are often accompanied by a distinctive and strange voice. In fact, this condition is usually transient and harmless, and does not last more than a few minutes, then disappears on its own. Therefore, hiccups are not a medical condition, but a symptom that may cause some cramping in the abdomen, chest, and throat. The author points out that the Spanish Society of Family Medicine classifies hiccups into 3 types. The first is acute hiccups that last less than 48 hours, and the second is continuous hiccups, which, as his name indicates, may last a whole month, and the third type is the intractable hiccups, which may last more than 2 months without any solution. Hiccups and food. The author says that there is one aspect of our lives that is particularly relevant to this condition, which is the food we eat, and is one of the most important causes of hiccups. Although this situation can begin without obvious reason, it is normal to have a factor that disturbs or disrupts the normal functions of the diaphragm, such as eating too hot or full of spices, eating soft drinks or liquor, or eating too fast. In addition, sustaining foods that damage the stomach and respiratory tract can cause this condition to develop. For this reason, if you are one of those who are always infected with hiccups, it is best to pay attention to the aforementioned nutrients, although there are many other reasons that can cause hiccups. Psychic. The author adds that there are many psychological conditions, such as stress and fear, that can cause this problem. Sudden changes in temperature, or consumption of certain medications such as antidepressants, inflammation, antibiotics, and sedatives, can also lead to hiccups. Serious cases. The author warns that this condition may also be a sign of a serious problem or disease that we do not know about, which is related to laryngitis, gastroenteritis, meningitis, a hernia in the diaphragm, pneumonia, diabetes, or asthma. The author cautions that it is normal for anyone to have hiccups, but not for more than a few minutes. If this condition persists longer and more intensively than usual, you should seek help from your doctor to find out the causes and appropriate treatment. Some treatments to stop hiccups. Most people certainly resort to traditional ways to end this condition, including keeping breath, drinking water slowly and in small doses, breathing deeply into a paper bag, taking the tongue out of the mouth, or seeking to cause nausea and squinting in the eyes. Over the years, these home remedies have become very common, apparently affecting the nerve, or raising the level of carbon dioxide in the blood, ending the hiccups altogether. Although all these methods have often proved to be effective, there is no scientific evidence to explain this. The author states that the Faculty of Pharmacists in Spain has also provided advice on its official website, which can be classified into 3 types. Diaphragm. As this part is the center of the problem, it can be directly focused, by sitting on the floor, sticking the knees to the chest and maintaining this position for several minutes. You can also bend forward and try to touch the feet with your hands. In both cases, the chest becomes compressed, which relieves us of contractions. Breathing. The Spanish College of Pharmacists explains that some sources speak of a decrease in blood carbon dioxide as a possible cause of hiccups, which can be resolved through some breathing exercises. In addition to holding the breath for several seconds, another trick that may end the hiccups is to take a deep breath and press the area under the ribs of the chest. Distraction. This idea is to forget the hiccups, until they disappear on their own. For this reason, there is a trick of scaring a person so that his focus is moving away from other ideas, or his body is in a state of attention, which relieves the diaphragm.